Have you ever found your mind constantly chattering away, making it too difficult to focus on the present moment? Do you wish to learn how to silence that chatter and find inner peace? In this video, we will explore the power of silence through the story of a Zen monk who teaches us how to calm our minds and find inner stillness. Welcome to our channel where we share insightful and practical information to help you live a more mindful and fulfilling life. In this video, we will delve into the fascinating story of a Zen monk who spent his entire life mastering the art of silence and meditation. Jamyang was a young monk who had dedicated his life to seeking inner peace and enlightenment. For years, he had lived in the mountains of Tibet, following a strict spiritual practice that required him to meditate for hours each day. He longed to find the stillness he sought, to quiet the incessant chatter of his mind, and to connect with the divine. But despite his dedication, Jamyang felt restless and unsatisfied. His mind was always racing with thoughts and worries, and he found it difficult to focus on his meditation. He yearned for a deeper understanding of the nature of reality, but felt as though he was getting nowhere. One day, overcome with frustration and despair, Jamyang decided to seek out the wise monk Tenzin, hoping that he could offer some guidance on his spiritual journey. Jamyang walked through the snow-covered mountains, his mind racing with thoughts and worries. He had heard about the wise monk Tenzin, and he hoped that he could offer some guidance on his spiritual journey. As he approached Tenzin's humble abode, he felt a sense of trepidation. What if the wise monk could not help him? What if he was doomed to a life of restlessness and anxiety? But when Tenzin opened the door, Jamyang was struck by his gentle and compassionate presence. Tenzin welcomed him warmly and offered him a seat by the fire. Jamyang poured out his heart to Tenzin, sharing his struggles with finding inner peace and his inability to quiet his mind. Tenzin listened with deep empathy and understanding, nodding his head in agreement as Jamyang spoke. Then, Tenzin spoke. His voice was soft and gentle, but his words carried a weight of wisdom that Jamyang had never encountered before. Jamyang began, "I have been seeking inner peace and enlightenment for many years, but I feel like I am getting nowhere. My mind is always racing with thoughts and worries, and I find it difficult to quiet my mind and find the stillness I seek." Tenzin listened patiently and then spoke softly. "Jamyang, the power of silence is great. By practicing the art of silence, you can connect with the true nature of your being and find inner peace." Jamyang looked at Tenzin skeptically. "But how can silence help me? My mind is always racing with thoughts. How can I find stillness in the midst of all the noise?" Tenzin smiled gently. "It is not easy, but it is possible. You must learn to quiet your mind, to let go of your thoughts and worries. It is only in the silence that you can connect with your true nature." He went on to explain that the mind is like a pond. Where it is still, we can see clearly to the bottom. But when it is disturbed, the water becomes murky and we cannot see clearly. "Your mind is like the pond," Tenzin said. "By quieting your thoughts and worries, you allow the water to become still. Then you can see clearly to the bottom and connect with your true nature." Jamyang felt a sense of hope stir with him. Maybe Tenzin was right. Maybe the power of silence could help him find the inner peace, he thought. As Jamyang left the Tenzin's abode, he felt a sense of determination. He would try the art of silence and see if it could help him find the inner peace. Jamyang began his practice of the art of silence with great enthusiasm, but he soon realized that it was not as easy as he thought it would be. Every time he tried to sit in silence, his mind would race with thoughts and worries. He felt restless and anxious, and he struggled to stay still. But he was determined to succeed, so he continued to practice every day. As he persisted in his practice, Jamyang began to notice small changes in his experience of silence. At first, the silence seemed deafening, and he felt uncomfortable and restless. But gradually, he began to settle into it. He noticed that the more he allowed himself to simply be in the silence, the more peaceful he felt. One day, Jamyang decided to take his practice deeper. He decided to sit in silence for an entire day, from sunrise to sunset. He woke up early before the sun had risen and found a quiet spot. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the cool morning air on his skin. As he sat there in the silence, he noticed the sounds of nature around him. The birds singing, the rustling of the leaves in a gentle breeze, the distant sound of a river flowing. He allowed these sounds to be a part of his experience of silence, and he noticed that they brought him a sense of peace and joy. As the day went on, Jamyang continued to sit in silence. He allowed himself to simply be, without trying to change anything or control anything. He noticed that his mind was still racing with thoughts, but he didn't let them distract him. He simply acknowledged them and then let them go. As the sun began to set, Jamyang felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. He had spent an entire day in silence, and he had managed to find peace and stillness within himself. He knew that there was still much more to learn, but he felt confident that he was on the right path. From that day, Jamyang continued to practice the art of silence with renewed enthusiasm. He realized that it was not about trying to force his mind to be quiet, but rather about simply allowing himself to be in silence. He learned that the more he practiced, the easier it became to find stillness and peace within himself. And so he continued on his spiritual journey, knowing that he was on the path to enlightenment. In a world filled with noise and distractions, the power of silence remains essential. Just as the restless monk Jamyang sought inner peace and enlightenment by quieting his mind, we too can find solace amidst the chaos of our current situations. Embracing the moments of silence and stillness allows us to connect with our true nature, find clarity in our thoughts, and discover the path to inner harmony. No matter how busy or turbulent life may be, the art of silence can guide us towards serenity and help us navigate the challenges we face with a calm and centered mind. And if you find this video helpful and inspiring, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Thank you for watching.